Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyamadeva Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Chatraha Sthairairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahi Tanyadayuhu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, all gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. O ye adorable ones, may we see with our eyes what is auspicious. May we sing praises to ye and enjoy with strong limbs and body the life allotted to us by the gods. Om, peace, peace, peace. The beginning of love is the will to let those we love be perfectly themselves. The beginning of love is the will to let those we love be perfectly themselves. The resolution not to twist them to fit our own image. If in loving them we do not love what they are, but only their potential likeness to ourselves, then we do not love them. We only love the reflection of ourselves we find in them. Thomas Merton. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ramakrishna Monastery. Our topic today is conditional love. Yeah, some people were commenting, Swami, wouldn't it be unconditional? Should it be unconditional? I was like, yes, indeed. But first, let us start for what we know. We know very well. According to Vedanta, you know by now, love is not an emotion to be cultivated, but the very nature of our own selves. Love is already our own nature. That's what we are. Okay? We should exude love all the time. In fact, in a way we do it, but there is a problem. So let us move from conditional love to unconditional love. This might be the reason why we can't tolerate a moment without love. We cannot. We look for love everywhere. In fact, all we want is love. In the form of attention, in the form of affection, in the form of compassion, in the form of consideration, in the form of sympathy, understanding. And what happens when we cannot find it? We go crazy. We get frustrated. We can go really dark. We get angry. We can transition from the lightest and brightest color in the spectrum to the darkest. We paint our lives with this love. We color our lives with this base color and experience a range of emotions. Do you see it? All that it is that big capital love. Out of that, the whole range of emotions come forward. Love is the primary color. Some call them RYB, CMY, RGB. Love is prime. We experience a range of emotions. Emotions significantly shape our identity. See, in the end, We are all out there experiencing this life. And have you ever stopped just to contemplate? It's just a bunch of emotions. We keep reacting, love, hate, good, bad. That's all it is. Emotions significantly shape our identity, surpassing even our cognitive abilities. In fact, these emotions overpower the cognitive self and simply take over, take full control. When we lose ourselves, what happens to us? We cannot think straight. There is no clarity. We are overpowered by rajas or tamas. There is no sattva. It's just a bunch of emotions. Emotions are what we are, what we have. The emotional person is the core person, the center of our identity. Every person is an emotional being. Everyone is emotional. All of us. We can't help it. Who is not emotional? Life is made out of emotions. It's made of emotions. Emotions can create both sane and insane individuals. Emotions, as I said before, can drive us crazy. And blame it all on love. Therefore, it is crucial to comprehend the nature of the emotional self, lower self, within you. This emotional self, not capital self, the ego, has the power to either shape or ruin our lives. So when we look into the various forms of emotions, we find that they are merely different cuts of the same cloth. I know here we use a different analogy, this cut with the same scissors. But here is different cuts of the same cloth. Diverse manifestations of one single emotion. Diverse manifestations of one single emotion we call love. Love isn't the opposite of fear or anger or any other emotion. Love is much, much deeper than that. Love is the basic emotion. We see love as the subject matter of everything, everywhere. In music, poetry, movies, novels, stories, in real stories, in dramas, TV shows, everywhere. Netflix, on whatever streaming, yeah, are out there. That's because we love the subject of love. It's primary. Love is very profound. It's a very profound word. We all need to understand. It is not what we read in magazines and novels. Love has become a common and frequently used word. But love has to be present if you want to make something successful. If you want success in your life, you have to love. Seriously. You have to let that love manifest. Why? Well, everybody wants to be loved. Everyone is after love. And the best way to receive love or to be loved is to love. But what do we know about giving love? What do we know? True love is not merely attraction for somebody. True love is not merely providing for others or simply taking care of somebody. True love is not merely giving. It's a combination of feeling. Your heart must be there, and intention. And it's all for its own sake. What we know about love, unfortunately, is not love. What we know about love is conditional love. Whether consciously or unconsciously, there is always a condition or an expectation. And that's not pure love. Now, we all know this. It is said that the love of a mother or of a parent is one of the most purest expressions of love until that love gets tainted, start making demands, starts changing. When the child grows up, there are all sorts of reproaches, like, I made you. I hosted you in my body for 9 months. You are here because of me. Love me back. I know, I heard this. Not from my mother, but I did hear this. You owe me, therefore I demand from you. I know. This happens. As a child, we can understand these demands as conditions. If we behave a certain way, we get rewarded. If we don't behave a certain way, we don't. And there are consequences. We only have to close our eyes and go back to our childhood. I know, you may say, well, Swami, that's the only way to raise a child. That's why I say, that's all we know. And yes, it is complicated. While that may have significant value in guiding children away from danger, we thus have to acknowledge that it does have a significant value in guiding children away from danger and instilling positive habits. The lasting impact it often leaves is the notion that love is conditional. We take that, we imbibe that. Consequently, we project these beliefs into our relationships, including the one we have with ourselves. And I mean the relationship we have with God. It's clear that there is an inability to express unconditional love. And that's because we don't even know how to love ourselves. I know, here we go, get ready. We don't know how to remove the strings we attach to things of the outside for our happiness. Things include human beings, living beings, the things we supposedly love. Unconditional love is love without strings attached. Love for the sake of it. Love for its own sake. Someone doing nice things for you without expecting anything from you. Someone wants to see you happy and successful without expecting you to give them something in return. People love you despite any flaws or mistakes you make and respect you as an individual separate from them, a separate person with your own thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. The truth is, there are different degrees of this tainted love, but many people grew up with parents who showed them conditional love simply because they did not know any better. So don't be so hard on yourselves. I'm not here to be critical. It's just the facts of life. You have to make straight A's, and I know we all had to for a reason, naturally, or be the best athlete, go to church on Sundays, or follow the family career path. But sometimes that goes too far. Living up to their expectations is crucial to maintaining their love and support. As you grow older, you often find yourself prioritizing the validation and support of others over your own needs and preferences. You forgot yourself. You just wanted to make somebody happy. It transforms into a rigid, transactional, and draining cycle that leaves you feeling perpetually inadequate and unable to meet their expectations. You want to make them proud, and there is no room for failure. When we learn this kind of conditional love from a young age, it creates a dreadful legacy that will follow us throughout our lives in different degrees. Did it happen? A little bit? A lot? Maybe not. But it is common. It creates patterns we repeat unconsciously. We repeat when it comes to our relationships, our loving relationships. The truth is, we need to learn how to love ourselves first. When someone expresses love for me, I must possess the emotional foundation. I must possess the capacity to absorb that love. How can anyone love me when I have no love for myself? Lack of self-love makes me turn away from myself, and I get lost. This also happens when it comes to knowledge. It makes sense though. Think about it. I must have the intellectual framework, the cognitive ability to absorb knowledge. Otherwise, I am not going to understand what is being said or spoken. I should know in order to know. I should have in order to receive. If there is no self-love, no self-acceptance, I cannot absorb love, even if it is given to me in a luxurious way. It's never enough. As a result, when somebody professes love for me, I constantly question and doubt that person. Are you sure you love me? How much do you love me? Why do you love me? The person has to make up stories to reply these questions. They don't make any sense, so we better make up something right on the spot, right? So that she believes what we say. What else can we do? If you keep asking, why do you love me? There is no other answer. Because there is no calculated love. We can't calculate it. A little bit, a little too much, a little too little. It's just love. Love does not measure. Love does not demand or set an agenda. Love is reckless. It gives all the way helplessly, simply because that's the nature of love. Try to connect with it. Lack of love for myself also makes me misunderstand love as control. I see a beautiful flower and I instantly love it. I fall in love with it and I immediately want it. I stretch my hand and pluck it. But it's the neighbors. Shh, let's go. Quickly, quickly. No one really knows what love, true love, is. So love becomes control. At least for most of us, it does. Most often, the love of our parents is only control. Every tragedy is unassimilated love, misunderstood love, or obsessive love. Therefore, all of us, none of us cannot afford to be ignorant of what true love is. If you lack an image of yourself and don't have self-love, love translates into control and consequently obsession. We go obsess. When someone accepts you for who you truly are and expresses their love for you because it's a truth, that person becomes an object of our obsession. What we commonly call love in relationships is almost always, almost, I have to give it to you, almost, always conditional. A transactional arrangement where affection depends upon behavior, reciprocation, or fulfillment of our expectations. We interpret neutral actions as rejection, demand constant reassurance, and equal control with care. All symptoms of conditional love are rooted in self-alienation. The root cause is the absence of self-love. Therefore, all we know is conditional love, a symptom of self-alienation. I know it doesn't sound very healthy. You need to change or control the person you love. Love is free of control. We need to be aware that we tend to control. I tend to control, and I think control is love. becomes natural. It is not love, although behind this control there is love. Hell is made out of good intentions only, after all. That's why there is so much pain, the pain of the kind that was not understood. Kind of love that was not understood. It is important to understand that control is not love. Possessiveness is not love. Ownership is not love. Love can only be in freedom. We wrongly think that anything we love, we should have, we should own, we should possess. Now, we must understand that we need to have an infrastructure to receive love, as I said before. If you cannot receive love, you cannot give either. You cannot command love. You can be a loving person only when you love yourself. If you don't, you can't receive love. And it's a circle, like a loop. You will strangulate the very thing you love. You will destroy that love because that love becomes a need. It is no longer something that you can absorb. If you can discover love for yourself as a person, as an individual, you have an infrastructure, a solid foundation to absorb love. Then you can give love without loss, without reservation. When we lack love for ourselves, and I can't repeat this enough, when we have not accepted our own being unconditionally, we inevitably project this deficiency into our relationships. I want to be loved. The reason for this want is that I have no love for myself. Therefore, I want to be loved. Without capital self, acceptance, conditional love manifests into three characteristics: doubt and insecurity. Doubt and insecurity. We constantly question another's love. Do you really love me? Why? How much? Forcing others to make up stories to reassure us, as I mentioned before. Another characteristic, control masquerading as love. Not knowing true love, we equate it with control. Parents control children out of love. Partners monitor each other's action out of love and care. Yet control is the antithesis of love. For love accepts the other's freedom to be as they are. It's difficult, huh? To practice this. There must be a lot of trust. And self-love. Another characteristic is transactional expectations. We love because you make me happy. I love you because you fulfill my needs. because you validate my existence. Is it safe? What do you think? Anything that we create dependence from the outside or on the outside is not very safe. Why? Because it's constantly changing. If at all we need to depend on something, it must be something that never changes. So you see, all our sufferings are rooted in this so-called dependence from something that is changing. The nature of things, of human beings. Today I love you, tomorrow I stop loving you. What happened to you? I don't know. It's probably your fault. That's it. This is relative love, conditioned upon circumstances, distinct from absolute love, the unconditional nature of the self. Therefore, self-acceptance. We have to learn to be with ourselves and love ourselves for what we are. We are already whole. If there is something that includes everything, listen to this. If there is something that includes everything, encompasses everything, we can call it Purna, the whole. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Will this Purna, the wholeness, exclude you? If there is something that includes everything, encompasses everything, is what we call Purna, or the whole. That Purna can exclude you. If it does, can it be the whole? It should not be the whole. It must include you. It should include you. It can never be separate from you. This is what you experience in a moment of happiness. When you listen to music, you're happy. The music, the mind, and you are present and become one. Therefore, you are happy. You are the whole. You become the whole. There is no wanted situation. Everything is perfect. And sometimes we are not even aware of that. We simply rest in that happy moment. You do not lack the experience of the whole. You need to understand this very experience. The experience of that you are already whole. Please see the difference. You experience the whole whenever you are happy. You can never be away from the whole. When you look at me, I become the object of your consciousness. Me, eh? You can look at him, no problem. It's better. He becomes the object of your consciousness. What is the distance? What is the distance between consciousness and the object that you are being conscious of? Is there a distance? We say, well, I guess a space. Yes. You are conscious of the space. A space is the object of your consciousness. Between a space and consciousness, there is a distance. Is there any distance? If there is distance, what causes that distance? Is it a space? Space is that itself. A space, as I said, is already the object of your consciousness. The object space is never away from your consciousness. The universe is not separate from consciousness. In fact, you are unlike everything else, in the sense, everything else is the object of consciousness. You, unlike everything else, is the object of your consciousness because you are everything exists. You become conscious of everything, including the space. Space, time, earth, sun, moon, any object, micro or macro, is object of our consciousness. Any subject matter is an object of consciousness. The numerous forms, the different colors, the sounds of various frequencies, flavors, tastes, concepts, and ideas, everything is object of consciousness. The objects are variable. What is invariable is only consciousness. And guess what? We are conscious beings already. It's very subtle. Yet, when we think about it, we are trapped. Nothing escapes consciousness. That's what we are. In Sanskrit, we call this consciousness samvit or chit. And this is what you experience when you are happy. You forget yourself, your lower self. You merge in that moment with that consciousness. You become one with everything, and boom, voila, you are happy. But then you think, oh, it must be that object from the outside, that human being from the outside, the source of my happiness. Therefore, I go obsessed with you. I love you, love you, love you so much. Don't you know that? Don't leave me. It's also the same consciousness that you experience when you are unhappy, although you don't know it. Because there is only nothing but consciousness. It's only when we lose identification with this body-mind complex, when we let ourselves be, and when we shrink and we become who we think we are, then we get lost and we become unhappy. Look at us. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 2.4.5, Yajnavalkya declares to Maitreyi, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything is dear, everything is beloved, not for its own sake. but for the sake of the capital self. Don't get me wrong, this is not selfishness. It sounds like that, but I said capital self. It's a revelation. We never truly love another person, object, or even God for their sake. Rather, we love because the beloved evokes a temporary state of wholeness. Temporary, a state of wholeness. The pleased self, Priya-Atman, within us. Did you follow me? We never truly love another person. Not what we say when we love, that I love you kind of thing. We never truly love another person, object, or even God for their sake. Rather, we love because the beloved, object, person, even God, evokes a temporary state of wholeness within us. It evokes the pleased you, a temporary reflection of our own inherent wholeness or fullness, purnatvam. So stay alert. We have to know and practice this. When the beloved ceases to evoke this pleased state through changed behavior, absence, or even death, our love starts to fade. The relationship was never truly about the other. It was about the self-search for wholeness or fulfillment through the other. I know we are very selfish people. It's all about me. But it's not that me, lowercase, is the capital, the self, the capital self. In that self, we are whole. In that self, we are one. All we want is wholeness. But looks like we forget that wholeness is already our nature. It's already ours. Thus, conditional love is not evil. It's not evil. It's a natural expression of the immature, undeveloped mind seeking fulfillment in objects. It's natural. But we have to put a stop, or at least know what we are doing. I remember many years ago, I did psychotherapy, the Freudian analysis. And back then, because of this, I was I needed a little help. And it did help me a lot to talk, to clarify things. And so I remember this psychologist, this shrink said, we'll work it out together. In the beginning, you will feel that you fall. You will keep falling. But never mind, we'll work it out. We'll talk about it. You will see that slowly, you will notice that, you will listen to yourself, I am falling. And you would know, I am falling up, boom. Next time you trip, I say, I did not fall, until it becomes natural. Same with this. We cannot expect changes overnight, but we have to commit to this by becoming aware of what we are doing with ourselves and to ourselves. Watch out. Depend on nothing. Dependence begets misery. Stay alert. We are here to share. We are here to absorb, to completely give in freedom. Conditional love is not evil. It's a natural expression of the immature, undeveloped mind, seeking fulfillment in objects. But it inevitably leads to suffering because objects, including people, are impermanent and cannot provide the permanent satisfaction we all seek. Is it clear? Because it is conditional love, if the conditions are fulfilled, I love. It shouldn't be like that. If the condition is not fulfilled, I allow you to go. Even in the case of God. For many, devotion to God functions as a transaction. They look upon God only as a means of achieving worldly ends. When prayers are answered, devotion intensifies. Oh yes, He's real. When unanswered, guess what happens? You stop going to church. This is not hypocrisy. It is a natural expression of an immature mind seeking security in a higher power, just as it seeks security in relationship, wealth, and status. The problem is not the conditionality itself, but our ignorance of it. We mistake transactional attachment for love. Then we suffer when the conditions change, precisely because conditions are always changing. From conditional to unconditional. We have another 10 minutes. Let's keep diving deep into this. We have to understand the mechanics of love. Recognize that all love, whether spouse, partner, child, or God, is ultimately love for the pleased self evoked through the beloved. This understanding dissolves guilt and reveals the universal human predicament, the root cause, that is, absence of self-love. Therefore, what is the solution? Discover self-love. Start today, not tomorrow, Monday. Today. Until the end. Well, if there is an end. Because unfortunately, we do not love ourselves unconditionally. Until we recognize our own inherent completeness. Until we recognize our own inherent completeness, purnatva, we cannot offer unconditional love to others. You have to discover that love for yourself. Only then you will be able to love freely. I am always self-revealing. Yes, we have to say this to ourselves. I am always self-revealing, a conscious being. Therefore, I am Ananda. I am absolute bliss, myself already. Yes, take it. We believe in so many things. Why can you not accept your own nature? It's said by teachers in our scriptures. Take it. I am complete. I am that uninterrupted flow of bliss, already here at this very moment, uninterrupted. This is not narcissism, but on an ontological fact. The self, the Atman, is of the nature of the limitless bliss, Ananda Swarupa. The tragedy is that we have forgotten this truth. And we keep looking for it outside in the world. We identify with the body-mind complex, limited, vulnerable, incomplete, because it changes. And subsequently, consequently, we seek love from the outside to compensate for our perceived deficiency. Again, without self-acceptance, we cannot absorb love, even when it's offered freely. Rather than asking, how can I love others more? Ask, who is it that seeks love? It's very Vedantic, you know. I have to give you this sort of questions. Ask yourself, who is it that seeks love? This redirects attention from objects, including people, to the subject. Come back to yourself. The self that is ever, ever complete. We have to recognize love as our own nature. Love is not something you become, it's what you are. We must understand the wholeness of the self. When we realize through Vedantic inquiry that we are Purna, completeness, whole, free from limitations, love flows spontaneously. Not as a reaction to external stimuli, but as the natural expression of our fullness. When we realize, I am the whole already, everything I perceive is nothing but consciousness, because I am that consciousness, then the circle closes. This is absolute love, unconditional, because it depends on nothing from the outside. What do we do in our daily lives? How do we practice this? Well, first thing first, listen, Shravana, you already heard. Remember, contemplate. Remind yourselves. Stay alert and apply. As I said, we have to own this. Then, well, the basic things, you know, when we trap ourselves making mistakes, expecting things from others, demanding things from others, just like, whoa. Remember what our scriptures say. Oh, the Swami said last Sunday. Yes, remember that. Even though it is natural, we have to make it a point to change that habit. From conditional love to unconditional love. We have to accommodate, accept others as they are without demanding they conform to our expectations. This is not passive acceptance, but active recognition that others are also seeking wholeness through you. So don't judge. It is natural in me, in you, in everybody. So if somebody goes desperate because of you, understand the reasons. He or she is looking for wholeness. just as you seek it through them, or I may say you used to, I hope. To accommodate everyone, irrespective of who the other person is something that we must practice in our daily life. This practice gradually dissolves the ego's demand for control. Conditional love is not to be rejected, but understood as a signpost pointing towards our deeper need for self-acceptance. When you understand this, that all love is for the sake of the self, you have discovered love. There is nothing here but love. The essence, the means and end of everything, and the source of all trouble. The source of all this drama. The journey from conditional to unconditional love is not a moral achievement, but a cognitive shift. The recognition that you are already the source of love, you seeking others. When this knowledge becomes firm, relationships transform, not because others change, but because you no longer depend on them for your wholeness. For your wholeness. You will see and experience a natural change in the dynamics. You love freely, without demand, without fear of loss, because your love flows from the infinite reservoir of your own being. Love is not an emotion to be cultivated, but the very nature of the self. Never forget this. It is our own Ananda Swarupa, absolute bliss. Whatever we look in the outside is already ours. It's already with us all the time. Go within. Accept yourself for what you truly are, conscious beings. And there you will find that wholeness. Stop superimposing this in the outside, in impermanent objects, including people. The self is love. Let's discover love in or by loving. How do I translate this in my life? Start giving. Don't stop, start. Start giving love. Start loving for its own sake. The best way to receive love is, or to be loved, is to love. When you reach out and extend love, the very action brings the loving person in you. Do it. Whatever you want for yourself, start giving. Practice. When you reach out and extend love, the form of care, compassion, attention, giving time, the very action itself brings out, it's like magic, brings out that loving person in you. You exude that. All you have to remember is it's already there. It was already there. It will always be there. Love becomes real because love is you. Can we take this? All we require is to know and understand this fact. As you look further into yourself, you see the presence of the capital self. We call the Lord, or we call God. in the form of also our emotions. Because our emotion, what is the source of all our emotions? That desperation for love. You accept them as valid. You also accept that they have a background. That is love, capital love. Makes you normal in every way. The more loving you are, the easier it is for you to understand what our scriptures say. You are the self, you are the Atman, you are the whole already. The wholeness naturally comes to manifest. It does not remain as an ideal. Don't think that this is an ideal. It's what you are. When all that is here is in one whole, what is the question for not loving? When you understand this, you have discovered true love. There is nothing, you guys, but love. It is true what Jesus said. God is love, and it's our own intrinsic nature. What is the highest emotion that goes beyond any emotion and simply is? The highest emotion we can ever experience is one. It's called love. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that outer world is Purna, full of divine consciousness. This inner world is also Purna, full of divine consciousness. From Purna comes Purna. From the fullness of divine consciousness, the world is manifested. Taking Purna from Purna, Purna indeed remains, because divine consciousness is non-dual and infinite. Om, peace, peace, peace.